So what does this all then mean for the state of local government in Johannesburg in particular? We can take this up with local governance expert, Dr. Sam Koma. Dr. Koma, a very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for being on Daytime Update. So the issue of Soweto and what's been raised now as grievances by these demonstrations, these demonstrators, this is not a new list of complaints. Put in context where we are in addressing the problem.
Oh yeah, thanks, Tebekile, and thanks also for this opportunity. Yes, this is not an unprecedented matter. I mean, the issue of Soweto. We know that already in 2019, the former late mayor of the city of Joburg, Jeff Makubu, led a march together with Soweto residents to Eskom offices in Mega Ward, raising the very same issue of the disconnection of electricity affecting Soweto residents. So already there have been a couple of protests embarked by Soweto residents against Eskom regarding the issue of disconnection. So to put the issue into perspective, all of us, we need to bear in mind that the Soweto electricity bill amounting to 9 billion rand, it is a matter that has led to the impasse between Eskom and the residents. Eskom wants its debt of 9 billion rand to be settled by its customers who happen to be Soweto residents, and also the city of Joburg wants Eskom to write off the debt. So this is a matter that needs to be resolved through a number of measures. Already, prior to the 2021 local government elections last year, the ANC-led municipal council did announce that they've entered into a power purchase agreement with Eskom that will allow the city to distribute Eskom to parts of Soweto, Ivory Park, and Orange Farm. But subsequently, after that announcement was made, Eskom issued a statement refuting the claim to say they have not entered into such an agreement, and even if there was such an agreement, the process of completing the transaction will take years to conclude because there are a number of processes of due diligence that still have to be carried out. For example, the debt that is owed by the residents will have to be settled, and also there should be engagement with relevant government institutions such as Treasury, NERSA as the regulator, the National Department of Energy will also have to come on board, and also COCTA, including the general public in terms of finalizing and approving such a process. So the current situation facing the city of Joburg, together with the Soweto residents, amounts to that. The issue of how to settle the debt and also how to continue providing electricity in a sustainable way, uninterrupted to the residents of Soweto.
So how then do they resolve it, sir, if the people of Soweto are saying we'd like a flat rate, and that's a flat rate that's not going to work for Eskom, but Eskom also says there's all this historical debt? Is it that the utility simply has to accept that it's basically not going to get those billions of rands that it says are owed by Soweto?
Very important, Tebekile. This needs a balancing act because we have serious socio-economic conditions that are facing a majority of South Africans. We know that poverty levels have gone up, inequality levels have risen, and also the issue of unemployment rate has also gone up. So this is also pertaining to the Soweto residents, how to go about affording this debt payment arrangement they've entered into with Eskom as the distributor of electricity. So we need political leadership to come to the fore. We need meaningful engagement between all the parties involved. The issue of Eskom and also the Soweto residents regarding the payment of electricity cannot be dumped to the administrators to deal with the matter. All the political parties represented within the City of Joburg Municipal Council will have to collectively take responsibility to find a common ground, to find ways and means of resolving the Soweto electricity crisis. It remains a perennial matter because till this day, 27 years into our democratic dispensation, this particular matter has not been decisively resolved. It's a political matter.
If I can come in there,
solution.
Dr. Koma, if I can come in there. So you say it's a political matter, and just to update our viewers, we're looking at some of those pictures now that we're showing live on Newzroom Afrika of that demonstration moving into central Johannesburg. These are Soweto residents. I'm not sure who this group is in the military gear, the camouflage, but these are in effect Soweto residents who are marching, as we've been discussing, over the issue of electricity costs. They say they simply cannot afford to pay what Eskom is asking for. Some are requesting a flat rate. Dr. Koma, I want to come back to you. You say it's a political problem, but is the challenge for Eskom not that if there's a political solution found for Soweto, then that puts up a precedent where similar solutions will have to be found for other communities?
Oh yes, what I'm trying to say is that the political leadership of the city of Joburg cannot relegate this matter to administrators. They were elected into positions of authority and influence and power to basically deal with this kind of issues of how to find ways and means to provide basic services to the residents that have put us into power. The residents are basically asking the political leaders to listen to their grievances, act upon their grievances, and also to provide meaningful feedback regarding the very same matters that they've been brought to the fore. So Eskom does not have a problem. It says if the distribution of electricity is taken away from us as an entity to the city of Joburg, let's put processes in place. There is infrastructure which will have to be bought from Eskom, but Eskom is saying our debt will have also to be settled. So let's find a common ground in terms of dealing with this particular matter. So all the parties, including the relevant government institutions, should not reduce the matter between Soweto and the city as the two parties only. But
and who would settle the bill? Who would settle the bill if the residents say they can't afford to, and government has said it's tired of pouring more money into state-owned entities, and the management at Eskom says they are working to make it a profitable entity?
Yes, this speaks to credit control measures, which deals with issues of debt arrangement. There is a debt payment arrangement between Eskom and the residents, but some of the residents have been raising genuine reasons to say the issue of us affording this minimum amount that we are supposed to pay as part of the arrangement, we are not able to afford it due to these issues that relates to socio-economic conditions. The living conditions have, the cost of living conditions have gone up, as I said, and also some people have lost their jobs, and also they are struggling to make ends meet with the little that they have. So, as I said, this requires a balancing act. Eskom will have also to be patient with these residents, because these residents are also entitled to receive basic services, including electricity. They are also entitled to also receive free basic services. That is part of the national policy directive. But as I said, all the parties will have to meaningfully engage with each other to find a common ground and resolve this particular impasse.
And if it's not resolved, where do you see it going? Where do you see the situation developing to?
Then it will remain a perennial matter. They will continue to shift the responsibility between the current political leadership that has been elected to represent the interest of the residents and the voters of the city of Joburg. And some say, no, this is a national matter, this is an ANC matter, this is a historical matter. All the parties have to acknowledge that without addressing the Soweto electricity crisis, there's no way they can ensure or guarantee stability and cohesion within the city in terms of ensuring proper governance. So, as I said, they have to confront the matter, but engage with the national relevant state institutions to find a common solution to the matter.
Dr. Sam Koma, good to have your time. Thank you very much, sir.